is there, especially Aishman Bharat. Then Pradhan Mantri Rozgar Prosan Yojana is there, and you know that the Make in India and then startup. So these are the different departments, and government is supporting a lot. Uh, Even Pan Pradhan has also declared Atmanirbhar Bharat. Friend, you know that in the COVID situation, PP kit, very few people, certain parts of the sterilization material they were manufacturing. But now we are exporting PP kit. Imagine this was the change in this COVID. So one side COVID's problem is there, but simultaneously we are getting different opportunities also there. Uh, why I am discussing with this, just young people, this Mayank and Ruchi Singh, just 2 years before they are graduated and they have started some kind of business. We have here Abhay Arulkar, who is a director of the Entrepreneur Institute. And I'm taking, Mr. Shiva Prasad, I'm taking advantage of this, that right now there's something come in my mind that there are different committee in this student forum. Why not exclusively sale for the entrepreneur sale? So many people say every year they are going abroad for further studies. I will say that 80% or 90% students going for the abroad studies, or some people are maybe in management or any masters in pharmacy or maybe any other they are doing. But at least we have to give some kind of the platform or opportunity in the IPMSB, that as a being a, we can establish student entrepreneur sale. And here Arulkar is there, even these two people is Mayank and Ruchi Singh. Will take this advantage, and from henceforth we can guide the students, those who are coming into, or some kind of the idea, at least. So
Yeah.
we will support these students.
Yes,
Maybe
sir.
one student or maybe two students, but we have to start somewhere, because maximum pharmacy students they are going abroad for further study. I don't mind a specific subject if they are keeping mind and going and doing something good in that subject. But we have to think about Atmanirbhar Bharat, and they can do something for our country. And that is the reason अभी एक मैं थोड़ा सा शेयर सुनाना चाहता हूँ दोस्तों. I don't have the time and official that was nothing, but there's a technical problem. I have taken chance in that matter. I'll एक शेर सुनाता हूँ. हारना तब आवश्यक हो जाता है, हारना तब आवश्यक हो जाता है जब लड़ाई अपनों से हो, और जीतना तब आवश्यक हो जाता है जब लड़ाई अपने आप से हो. मंजिलें मिले की बात है, हम कोशिश ही न करें ये तो गलत बात है. So friend, think about making India an entrepreneur, and I hope that today's session they will motivate you, and definitely you will think on this line. And I'll be happy in this department through this IPMSB forum will get support, and I'm assuring that yes, Arulkar sir is there. I'm also student of Arulkar sir, because a few years back through this MSME, one of the workshop and 2 days training program under at the Chakala, and I have completed that course. So with this, I'll stop here. And again, once again, I'm welcoming all, and I'll hand over mic to now this Abhay Arulkar sir. Please go ahead, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Well, at the outset, I must thank the Indian Pharmaceutical Association in general, and in particular, President N. Shiva Prasad and Dr. Anand Shedge, Vice President, to have invited me to share my thoughts on the qualities of an entrepreneur. Told I am supposed to give guidance to the pharmacy students as to how to become an entrepreneur. Steps. Yeah. The steps they need to take, the challenges that they may face, and what are the opportunities ahead. So this is basically what I am expected to give to my students. Now, what I feel is when we want to do this, I have some 4 questions to be answered. And then I think all these takeaways will be natural. One is the need for entrepreneurs. Whether there is a need for entrepreneurs, number one. Number two, who is an entrepreneur? What are the ingredients or attributes of an entrepreneur? And how do we develop those entrepreneurial skills? So if these 4 questions are answered, I believe we will know whether entrepreneurs are born or whether they are to be developed. So all these things will be answered. Basically, as regards the need for entrepreneurs, these are the various factors. First of all, I tell you one more thing, that our history is responsible for the mindset of most of the students. I hope everybody can see the PowerPoint.
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes.
Okay, okay. Our history is, a response to the general mindset. Actually, the system, they have developed in such a manner that we are always satisfied in getting a job and securing our, life, so to say. Basically, that because of that reason, I think Dr. Sheria was saying that most of the students, after they graduate, they would like to take up a job in some good company, and then that's it. That is how they want to secure their life. But that is not really the ultimate aim if you really want to do something for our Indian economy. And Indian economy is on such a threshold, poised to become one of the leading economies of the world. In fact, today even with the Western economies, we are giving a tough fight. So you can imagine what Indian economy is poised for. Besides, our dynamic Prime Minister, he started initially the Make in India initiative. I think that was one initiative which was again in favor of the entrepreneurial, development. Now he has also said about Atmanirbharta. So this also is also self dependent. So therefore, it also again gives you a very apt atmosphere, environment to the entrepreneurs. Besides, I don't know how many of you are aware, but it's known as Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Development Act. And that gives a lot of incentives and benefits to the small, micro and medium enterprises. So much so that certain requirements of the government, they are marked for small and micro enterprises. So they have to compulsorily buy from there. So you can imagine the government support that the government is giving to the entrepreneurs. The second is the globalization or liberalization. Of course, this term is slightly old according to me. In 1991, this was having a lot of, today, the recent pandemic has taught us a lot of things. The entire world has changed, so to say. Every nation wants to be, to a large extent, independent. At the same time, they want to share. And as a, as Prime Minister Modi was saying, today an expansionist, that is, people who want to expand their territories, like China is trying to do. Though that is not this. Development is the, area where people should develop. Another, the economy should develop. Even the weaker countries should be helped to develop. I think that is and moreover, regarding the liberalization, a closed economy like that of China is always frowned upon. The third is the unemployment. Recent pandemic, the economies had a tough time, and therefore there was a lot of, people were without jobs. And so that is the reason why there was a lot of unemployment. Or as it is, our population also is quite a large one, unemployment. So it is the best way, a best dose for unemployment is to have entrepreneurs, because they can employ themselves and this unemployment would not last. And this will also help in avoiding some social evils, because idle mind is devil's workshop. The next need for entrepreneurs is the technological developments. There are technological developments as such that all the routine and mundane jobs are being done by machines. Moreover, if you want to start a business, years back, may have been a little difficult because to have the know-how of the business. But today it is not so. At a click of a button, you can find whatever information you want, and you can definitely start your business without any difficulty. There is the inherent loss. And I think even this pandemic recently, when people were jobless or they were at home only, the free time that they had, they wanted to do something on their own, and this has also given a little boost to the entrepreneurial skills of the individual people. So everybody wants to be a boss. That is the reason. Basically, the now who is an entrepreneur? So first I've seen that what is the need of the entrepreneur. Now we go to who is an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is a person who starts and runs his own business. Now here, what I feel is that these three aspects are very, very essential. You cannot start your own business unless and until you are bold or courageous. So their boldness or courage should be there in order to be an entrepreneur. He should be a hard worker. Strenuous endeavor should be there to do his jobs. He should not be dependent on anybody. Now, nobody will, like in most of the jobs, if you see, these multinational, all the systems are there. Actually, once you're employed there, you don't have to do mentally anything. You have to just follow the system. But in an entrepreneur, that is not the case. You will definitely give an exercise to your brain. So that is very, very important regarding the entrepreneur this. That is, he should do hard work. And last is element of risk. Now, this element of risk, you cannot take a wild risk. It is definitely a gamble. When I start a business on my own, definitely I don't know whether it will be successful or not. But it is a calculated risk. It is not that we don't play blinds or we don't take a wild card. We do a calculated risk, a moderate risk, and definitely, this reminds me of an ad. Sometime back, it was very common on the TV, where it was Pankaj Kapoor and Javed Jafri of a Topchi. And he used to say about the sauce that it is not too sweet, it is not too hot, it is just right. So similarly, for an entrepreneur, the risk has to be not too high, not too low, but just right, so that he doesn't end up losing everything. Having known who is an entrepreneur, now let us see what are the attributes or ingredients of an entrepreneur. And here, I'm very fond of the number 9. So I listed out the ingredients in 9 categories. So first one is boldness or courage, which I told that unless and until you're bold, you cannot start your own business. And definitely, if you see the entrepreneurs of the world, now here I would like to mention, you all must be knowing about Elon Musk, the Tesla, whereby he has revealed his ambitious plan to get humans to the Mars. And he has also started, SpaceX for a journey in the space. Now imagine the thinker, how he has thought about giving certain facility to the humankind. And that is why, this is how you must think. You must have the courage to think of something new, something to give to the people. And then definitely you will be a good entrepreneur. The second quality that you must have is you must be passionate. Whatever you have, you want to do, you must be passionate about it. If you're not passionate, then you may not succeed. Not only that, you have to persevere. The perseverance should be there. And there should be ambition to succeed. Here I would like to remind you of Eklavya. He wanted to learn archery. Not only he wanted to learn archery, but he wanted to be the best. And how, even without a guru, how he has become the best archer, even better than Arjuna. Of course, he had to give his right hand thumb as a Guru Dakshina. But that is apart. But basically, he has achieved his goal. So that is where, because he was passionate, he was perseverant, and he also had ambition to be what he was. The next one is hard work. Remember one thing, being an entrepreneur, you can be a boss, but you cannot order things only. I mean, being a boss, our idea is that once you become a boss, you have to only order things and people will be at your service. Sorry, in case of an entrepreneur, that cannot be there. He has to himself put a tremendous hard work. And here I would like to point out an example of Tim Cook. Tim Cook, who is the CEO of Apple.
Yes.
And he starts his day at 4:30 a.m. So you can imagine how hard he's working even at that stage. Today he is the, I mean, he's the, I mean, you would really become, what you say, uh, and then you feel like Tim Cook, But then whatever success he has achieved is also because of the hard work that he has put. And this, of course, hard work, it has to be in hand in glove with the earlier points I told you: passion, perseverance, and ambition. So these two qualities have to go hand in glove. And here I also remember, if you really work hard, even if you don't have talent, you will succeed. Because there's a saying, hard work, talent. When talent doesn't work hard. So therefore, I think one should remember that and go ahead. But hard work there is no substitute for hard work. There's no doubt about it. The next is uh, knowledge. Now, knowledge you must have, and you must be best in your field. Then only you will be able to sell something. You cannot have you can't be jack of all. You must be a master. In your field, you must be a master. Like, I'll give you an example that normally, generally, if you see, a hardware engineer will not do anything or meddle with software. Both the engineers are separate. A software engineer will only do software work. The reason is he has to excel in his job, and therefore he will not try to mess up by taking other responsibilities. Similarly, doctors. If you see one doctor, if he is, even though he may be having some knowledge about the other field, he will never give a medicine. He will say, go to the specialist. So these are some of the clues that you must be the best. And knowledge acquiring is not very difficult now. As I told you, on a click of a button, you can get vast information. Now, of course, this is only information, but you have to take down, assimilate that information, and then use your wisdom as to how to use that information. Then you have the creativity or the innovativeness. You must be creative. You must be innovative. You can't, you must develop some unique way of attracting the customer to you. Then only you will be able to sell your produce. Here I may contradict myself when I say that idle people are more creative. I'll tell you why. Because if you're an idle person, you will try to find an easy way out. And when you find an easy way out, then you make an invention. So, and Bill Gates has said that I would always like to, employ an idle person because easy way out, and that would definitely be an invention. Here also, I would like to point out the example of Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs created revolutionary products such as MacBook Air, iPod, iPhone, and so many other products. And even he had actually had a tip with Bill Gates also. And he said that unless you are creative, you will not be able to last long in this field of business. And therefore, you must be creative or innovative in order to. Then you have the management skills. Now, management skills are actually small disciplines that you must have. But those are very, very essential. Like, you must know financial management, you must know personal management, human relationship. So all these qualities you must possess so that you are able to manage the business, because you're going to deal with a lot of people. You're going to deal with the customers. You're going to deal with the employees. You're going to deal with a lot of other people, the vendors. Therefore, your management skills are and ultimately business talks money. So financial skills are also very, very important. Then you have the ability to face uncertainty. Life itself is uncertain, you know, and definitely you must be able to face. Now, here I would like to point out that you must choose your being an entrepreneur on your own. If somebody forces you, then you will consider that as, you know, if any problem comes, then you will, oh my God, had I not listened to that other person, I would not have this problem. It is not so. Generally, if you you select your uh, business on your own, and you decide to become an entrepreneur, then you will consider that problem as a challenge. And remember, every problem has a solution. So I don't think there should be any problem on that. But you must have the ability to not give up. Uncertainty, failures, all these will be part and parcel. And there are umpteen examples that people have failed, but they have been successful on the nth attempt. So that should not be a problem. The next quality, which is again hand in glove with this uncertainty, ability to face uncertainty, is the alertness. You must be alert. You should be able to see the if there's a hole, that is pothole somewhere that you will not fall. You should be able to change yourself. The flexibility should be there. The versatility should be there, whereby you can change immediately. And you must not be very rigid. Rigidness will only harm you. And lastly, of course, but not the least, and that is the maturity. There must be emotional maturity. And here, when you're doing your business, the personal likes and dislikes generally should not come into your business decisions. Now, remember one thing, generally, you must try to do business of a area which you like, which you enjoy, because ultimately your work life should be also you should enjoy. So definitely you have chosen pharmacy as your field of this, and anything you do in pharmacy, you should be able to enjoy. But anyways, any personal likes or dislikes should be avoided to hamper your business decisions. Generally, all the above qualities are inborn in every person. But if you don't use those qualities, then what happens? It becomes rusty. You're not able to use them in the best possible manner. So therefore, it is always better to sharpen those skills. All these skills should be sharpened, and then definitely you will be a good entrepreneur. Now, here I would like to add two more points. And what are the 2 points? One, that entrepreneurship is gender neutral in the sense there is no rule that only females can be entrepreneurs or males can be entrepreneurs. So there can be either. Both are. In fact, studies have proved that women are better entrepreneurs despite their additional responsibilities like housekeeping and childbearing. Still, they are more successful, and that is because that they have small goals. They are satisfied. They value satisfaction. So these are 2-3 this, whereby that is the reason why they are more successful, and they also want small profits. So therefore, that is definitely the second. And here, of course, I would like to give the example of a woman entrepreneur. There are so many. Indra Nui, who was the CEO of Pepsi. Then Ritu Kumar, who is a fashion designer. Vandana Luthra, who is giving the. So these are all women entrepreneurs who have been successful. Another, it is neutral to the entrepreneurship is the age factor. you can be an entrepreneur at any point of time. You have the young person like Mark Zuckerberg, or even today, you see a lot of advertisements of White Hat Junior and all that, whereby small children are making apps. So they've become, entrepreneurs. So therefore, the age is not the fact. And you have got the example at the same time of Kentucky Fried Chicken, who started that after his 50s, he has started that business. So therefore, there is no restriction on age or gender. You can be successful at any point of time. Now we go to the how to develop these entrepreneurial skills. First of all, in order to develop the entrepreneurial skills, first of all, you must set a goal and you must have a plan. Without that, you cannot go ahead. I mean, if you're not having any direction, or if you're directionless, then you can't expect success. The next goal that and you should allow yourself to be dragged in by somebody else. You should have your own goal and your own plan, whereby you know what, like, if you follow somebody else blindly, the chances are that you will fall. And once you fall, you will feel also miserable because you have fallen not because of your own decision, because of somebody else's decision. The second one is physical fitness. You must keep yourself physically fit. Exercise and food habits will determine your health. So you must be physically fit, because only a physically fit person can think healthily. Otherwise, you will not be able to take, prudent decisions. You must, when you're starting your own business, you must ensure that you choose such a name or a tagline which is simple and easy to remember. So this will be an additional, help you may have. Of course, the recent pandemic, that is this COVID pandemic, has shown that now place is not really important. People are working from home also, and there is no problem. The performance should be there, not necessary to have a place of work. But nonetheless, you must have establish a small place of work. At least after some time, you must ensure that it is there. As you know, in the Gujarati, there's a saying that you must have your pedi, otherwise nobody will come to you. So in order, if you want people to come to you, you must have your business place. Then you have to draw up your business plan and budget. Remember one thing, without that, you will go haywire. Not only the plan for the business, but there should be plan for how much business should do. Financial nitty-gritties have to be worked out. So that definitely has to be also drawn up. If you don't do that, it will be again a difficulty. You must improve your wardrobe, because first of all, you must meet a lot of people to promote yourself, which I'm coming a little later. So when you meet people, your first impression should be the best impression. And therefore, you must look very simple. I'm not saying you must always have some fancy clothes, but definitely simple but impressive, clean clothes should be there. And you must try and improve. You must not have your, whatever suits best to you. You can have a beard, but it should be well trimmed. Otherwise, there'll be problems. Another very, very important quality that you should develop is the reading habit. You must read. You must be really a person who reads. You should be a hog, for reading. Whereby you must go on reading as much as possible, because reading will give you information. Reading will give you ideas. Reading will also tell you how others have achieved what they have and whether it can help you. So it's very, very essential that you read newspapers, particularly you read the biographies or autobiographies of these people, entrepreneurs who have achieved something in their life. Another thing that you must have is the ability to learn from mistakes. See, mistakes are, there is not, in fact, I remember the example of this organization 3M. All of you must have heard. The 3M organization, they had two rules. And the two rules were, one, that every 5 years they must stop the production of one of the products. So you have a particular product, if they have started manufacturing, then they should manufacture only for maximum 5 years. After that, they should stop, and they should have new products. So innovation, creativeness was there, number one. Number two, in their employment, they felt that if a person does not make a mistake, then he is to be fired. Because they used to say that if you work, you're bound to make mistakes, but you have to learn from your mistakes. So imagine 3M, that if you don't make mistakes, you are not worth having in employment. So here you also you will make mistakes, but you have to have that ability to learn from mistakes, not justify whatever mistakes are there. People generally try to justify their mistakes, that because this happened, I did this. No, no, no justification at all. No, this. So you have to learn from your mistakes, improvise on your mistakes, and be a better person next time. So you must not have that ego also. That ego should be completely annihilated when you are, as to mistakes. You must promote yourself. Promotion yourself means whenever you meet people, you definitely talk, you be friendly with them. And I tell you one thing, when an entrepreneur, whenever he meets people, he sees a customer in that other person. You can't underestimate anybody, that he may not be useful, but he's not going to buy my product. No, he may not buy your product, but he may recommend you somewhere else. We never know. So therefore, you must respect every individual and promote yourself. And of course, lastly, you should not be discouraged. A lot of people are there to discourage you. Many a times people always have the rule that we find mistakes of others. Our own mistakes we cannot see. So there are others who will tell you your mistakes. Now, you have to learn from the mistakes, all right, but cannot be discouraged. You cannot be discouraged. You must have a positive attitude for, and as I told you, that uh, every failure, you should take it as a challenge. I mean, then any problem that you face, you must take it as a challenge. And the challenge then will convert into opportunity. So therefore, challenges again here, what I have done is, as regards, if challenges, you're going to face many. As an entrepreneur, every entrepreneur faces lots of challenges. But one has to learn from them. One has to take them in their stride, and then take over. I mean, these then on if you have the above qualities, automatically you will be, because I cannot say that a particular entrepreneur or a pharmacy entrepreneur is going to face these problems, or these are these challenges. No. So I have generalized, and if you have all these qualities, if you develop in the way I have told you, I'm sure you will be equipped to face the challenges. And as regards the opportunities, the opportunities are vast. So there is no question about, as an entrepreneur, there is no. I mean, moreover, one more thing I must tell you, that however mechanization takes place, small businesses, they are going to coexist. So you need not worry that, no, I am going to be so small a businessman, I will not be successful. No, don't bother. But innovation has to be there, and you must try, develop. Definitely you will. Failure and success actually are contained in that word itself. And here I have got a very nice slide, whereby failure, if you have these qualities, you are bound to fail. If you have fear, whether I'll be successful or not, if you are anger, if you are having inferiority complex or impatience, if you are feeling lonely, because you will not be able to make friends with people, uncertainty, resentment, or emptiness, then If this is what you feel, definitely failure is bound to be there. But a success, if you have a sense of direction, you know, you've planned properly, you understand yourself as well as others, you have the courage, you have the compassion, you have enthusiasm, you have self esteem and self confidence. If these qualities are there, success is imminent. But one more thing I would like to caution here, that success is not a one time event. That once you're successful, then you have not to bother. No, because you have to work very hard, improve yourself, focus in order to master, have passion, to push yourself, serve others, have ideas, and persist, and again go back to work. So it is a continuous process in order to maintain, to be successful. One thing you have to avoid is this criticism, rejection, assholes who are always discouraging you, and pressure to do something against your wishes should be avoided. But you must yourself develop the habit of listening, observing, being curious, asking questions, solving problems, and making connections. With these, I think, I'm sure you will be a very, very successful entrepreneur. Now, I think I can ask if there are any questions to be answered. I would like to.
Yes, sir. We do have some questions from the comment section on YouTube. So, sir, first question was you mentioned inculcating the habit of reading. Specific books or any specific reading material that we should refer to?
Actually, to tell you frankly, reading newspapers is a must. Okay, that is one thing I would tell you. Sorry. Newspaper reading is a must, as I told you. You must read biographies and autobiographies of various entrepreneurs. That is very, very essential if you want to be an entrepreneur. Because you have to emulate these people. Remember one thing, you cannot copy, but emulation is allowed. You must emulate them. You must try and achieve your success in the same manner. The hard work that he has put, you also put. Okay. So these are two main things. Other things you can just generally anything and everything that comes to you. Other thing you can read is that magazines of your profession or trade that you must read, so you know what is the latest development. So these are the things that you must read. Yeah. Any other questions?
Sir, most of the students watching the stream are from pharmacy, and most of them are still doing their bachelor's. So after bachelor's, do you suggest to do some masters or something like in management studies or
that depends on that individual himself. That he requires further additional knowledge and he should pursue additional course then. But I will tell you one more thing, that experience is the best teacher, number one. And the earlier you start, the better it is. But of course, book knowledge is maybe necessary. So that decision has to be taken individually by that person. I mean, I cannot from this platform tell you this or that. You understand, it will depend on a lot of other factors and he has to take the decision himself. Yes.
Yes, absolutely. Questions are on the similar lines and on the everything that you have covered. I think it covers everything.
So, thank you very much. I hope I've done justice. Whatever takeaways you had asked for, I've been able to give them.
Yes.
Thank you very much for the patient hearing.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah. I would like to listen to the experiences of Mayank and Ruchi.
Yes, definitely. Sakshi, you can start your screen sharing again.
Thank you, sir, for your generous motivation. Now, I would like to request Mr. Mayank Chapnera, sir, to share his experience.
Can I speak? Yeah. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mayank. I am the founder, as it says out here. I am the healthcare and the CEO of Regis Healthcare. Please don't misunderstand this with St. Regis Hotel Mumbai. That is entirely different. Of course, we want it otherwise. But so I'm going to talk to you all about basically how I started my entrepreneurial journey, and I am still on it. There are, as Abhay sir said, there are a lot of things you need to know before you start, and I have learned a lot over the duration, and there's still a lot I'm still learning gradually. So basically, it's not how you. Uh, so it's if I have to start with the journey, it's very difficult. So I'll just say it was a drive inside me that started, and I started very young. I started at the age of 19, 20, and I thought, I can do it. I can pull this off. And I started the entire journey. कि चलो चालू करते हैं. Let's do something. But it was more about the inquisitiveness about how it feels to be an entrepreneur, to go through all of that. Now, being from a B farm background, having a pharmaceutical knowledge, it was an upper hand, but it wasn't enough for me. I thought I'll study it, learn it, then get into the industry, and then start my own business. But nothing that I nothing that I did helped that much. Of course, now that I think of it, it it was helpful, but the GST, the accounts, the everything that's the management skills, the communication skills that you're supposed to have, it all grew upon me very gradually. So to everyone, I won't consume a lot of time. To everyone that wants to be an entrepreneur, I have one say out here that just just start. I know there will be problems. I know you all have problems. You all have problems already, existing problems. But no matter what, in fact, if I give you my story, I was when I started, I was a student, so I was broke at the same time. In fact, I was in negative. Probably might be owing 10,000, 15,000 to someone. So I couldn't afford anything that was free also. But I started and it worked good. I slowly and gradually learned. I faced a lot of issues in the business, but in the end, it turned out to be fruitful. At the moment, we are well established. We're soon getting the going private limited. So it's not about just that, whatever problems you have. See, problems aayenge, but you have to, it'll automatically get figured out once you dive into the pool. So you won't know how to swim until you dive into the pool. Oh, small examples when you're in college and you want to do something that I did. Basically, I used to. So even just taken, if you consider RX, I used to go for the festival, and there was this one thing that I noticed really well. We all know what happens in RX. Basically, all the colleges come together and have something really great going on. What happened is I used to wonder who's the most happiest person here today, and I'm sure most of you will be thinking the winning college, or probably say the president or the vice president or the general secretary who's winning it. But my takeaway would be for Anna, the sandwich wala, who sells something at an inflated rate, and he has amazing business on those 3 days. So me being my uncle went to good old Anna and told him, Anna bhai, ab ye Bisleri 10 rupees hi hai, how are you selling it at 20 rupees? He's like, see, आपको नहीं अच्छा है तो आप बाहर से ले लो. Now reaching that level of business, reaching that position where you can tell a customer कि आप बाहर से ले लो, that's huge. That shows how well established he is. Today's day, most of the startups don't fail because they do not work. They fail because they work and you don't know how to handle that surge of sales with you, handle that money flowing in. You don't know where to put in the money. You don't know anything about accounts. You lose a lot of money here. Probably untrusted, unworthy people, unworthy vendors you've given it to. So reaching that level, Anna teaches a lot. That guy teaches me a lot. Now, these are very small takes when you think about it, but this is what you have to learn. This is what you have to think when you're moving forward. And of course, everyone has that. I had Jignesh Bhai. Jignesh Bhai was the guy telling me, man, बहुत risk che, do not start this. Too much risk. ये हो जाएगा, मार्केट क्रैश हो जाएगा, whatever happens, apocalypse आ जाएगा, कुछ तो हो जाएगा. Do not start. B.Pharm degree, do something nice. But you have to put that aside and you have to get into it. Worst case scenario, what's gonna happen is you're not gonna get through it. But you're of course gonna learn a thousand things through that. You'll become a different person. You will know how to handle it. And guess what? If it works, it's wonders. It's wonders. And the government is also assisting us in all of these things. As Abhay sir said, there's a lot the government is doing. I just got issued the PM Mudra loan that's given to entrepreneurs. It was nothing. It took me 59 minutes, 60 minutes to just get it done. Sanctioned an unsecured loan, looking at the kind of turnover that we have by the government, a 10 lakh rupees loan. So it's good that the government is helping young entrepreneurs out like this. It's amazing. And all of us, I'm addressing this to all the healthcare professionals, even we as pharma graduates are healthcare professionals. In fact, we studied this. You have chosen this industry, guys. You are in it, then why not just own it? I've seen so many people with me who are not from the pharma background are doing amazingly well. Me being from the pharma background have an upper hand. I'm sure even y'all will. Absolutely. With that, I would like to conclude saying that my take, what I would want y'all to take away from my experience, and there will be something else again coming up after 1 2 years. But for now, I would say just start. No matter where you are, what you're doing, start somewhere. It will lead to something. I'm sure it will. But you need to start now. That's my take to it. That's all, guys. If you have any questions, you all can please address it to me.
Thank you so much, ma'am, sir, for sharing your experience. We do have a few questions. Since when did you business, or were you like from the start? Were you focused that you want to start something of your own, or what drive? What was your drive, or what was your motivation?
So one motivation was when I read this book called Rich Dad Poor Dad when I was very young. It told me about it's by Robert Kiyosaki. It's an amazing book. I would want everyone to read it because it does not tell you to be an entrepreneur. It drives you to start a business because there are such points highlighted in that book that create that desire inside you. See, entrepreneur, I want to be a business. I want to hold a business. So that drove me. And when I was in college, it was very difficult, but I pulled off a job as well as being a medical representative in a company. It was very difficult matching both being in a professional degree as much as B.Pharm having attendance going through practicals. It was difficult, but now that I think of it, after graduating, I knew the industry, I knew how the industry works, and I also had the technical knowledge of it. So it worked out very well. It worked out really good. I don't advise that to everyone, but if you need to do something, you'll need to do something out of the box. You'll have to have the drive inside to do something out of the box. That is how we started. That is how I started. Yeah.
And basically, so what is your company all about, and how did you get the idea? Like, what was the idea of this company?
So Regis Healthcare is so we formed this company amid the pandemic. It was formed in it's just 8 months old. We formed this company because of the pandemic. We had a supply of N95s, of masks, of sanitizers, and I couldn't handle. There were a lot of doctors calling me up, telling me, "My uncle, we require this, we require that," and that happened because I could explain the doctor what needs to be done, what does not in technical manners, not other vendors, other people could not do that. I could explain it because me being from the pharma background knew the technicalities of COVID-19, knew what we need to wear, what is essential, what is not essential. So guiding the doctor, that extra thing that I was talking to them about, and uh, they recommended other doctors on what on buy from my uncle. He's you should buy from Regis Healthcare. Not only do they have genuine and authentic products, but they also give you the guidance on how much you need to buy, what you need to do. So this, and now we're getting, so we also have COVID essential supplies, but we also started nutraceuticals, and very soon we're getting into digital marketing and helping doctors reach and creating more medical tourism in India. We're also affiliated with Netflix India. where we provide them healthcare services. So we tell them that if there is a shoot happening in a certain location, in a remote location, we provide them those healthcare services by sending a doctor, by sending the appropriate material like a BP machine or any emergency kits that need to be sent. So this is an entirely different approach where we're taking healthcare to people that don't even know they require it. When we tell them you all require it, they're like, yeah, we did require this. Yeah, we had a problem. We had this. We had that. So Regis Healthcare, we've keep innovating. Stagnation is that Abhay sir said you need to. He gave the 3M example as well. That's exactly what you need to keep doing. We keep in the last 6 months. I have with 18 or 19 products, innovative products, out of which a few have worked, a few have not worked. But if you don't do that and you keep using the same products again and again, that is what's going to kill you. Stagnation is set. So Regis Healthcare is all about innovation. It's all about the healthcare industry, how anything, digital marketing to services to sanitization to PP kits to nutraceuticals. We are formulating PCOD tablets these days. So all of those things happening right now. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think, yeah, those are all the questions. Again, others are just repetitions. So thank you so much for sharing your experience with us.
Great. Thank you for having me here. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to request Ms. Ruchi Singh to share her experience with us.
I would like to thank IPA MSP for giving me this opportunity to share my experience with young budding entrepreneurs. Sakshi, I would like to share my screen. Let me just check if I'm able to go.
Okay, ma'am. So I'll stop presenting. Then you can share your screen.
Yeah. Okay, is it visible
Not yet, ma'am.
now?
No, ma'am.
Okay, just give me one moment.
Ma'am, actually, you had, yeah, okay, yeah, it is.
Okay. So, like most of you are aware from the introduction, what Sakshi had given, I am the co-founder for two startups, Cerilia Nutritech and Relicus Healthcare. So, like most of you here, I'm sure all of you are curious. That's why you're attending this type of a workshop. I was a very curious student, and when I'm about to complete in my final year, I had this major question where I'm sure every BPharm student has this question: what to do next? Either go for BPharm, go for MPharm, or MS or MBA. And so with this confusion, and the major confusion for me was because I was good in technical, and I was also very active in co-curricular, extracurricular activities. I was the cultural secretary for my college, so I was also interested in the managerial side of it, CAT, CET, and GPAT. And to add to my confusion, I cleared both the exams. Finally, to be very frank, just because I was getting the stipend without any direction, go for MPharm. And since I was getting admission in my own BPharm college, it was a very comfort zone for me. And then I thought, okay, let's just do MPharm and then we'll think what to do. Now, while I was doing my MPharm, if I'm getting into research, burning my hands there, why not do something which will add value to something that is already available? So I just did not want to get away by doing some normal, MPharm project which stays locked in my thesis or article, and people forget about it. I wanted to do something which will actually add value to the healthcare scenario right now. And so I thought that at that time, cancer was the biggest problem that humans face. So I was like, I want to work on some anti-cancer formulation. I'll do something blockbuster in anti-cancer. So with this, now when you know when you want to work for an anti-cancer formulation, anything related to cancer, or anything which is in a drug development or formulation development, it requires a lot of money. So with this, one fine day, one of my guide's friends, they saw this article, this newspaper ad wherein we were getting some grant by BIRAC, Biotechnology Ignition Research Grant, which comes under DBT, and we thought that okay, let's apply. So me with my senior who was doing her PhD, both of us we applied for this grant, BIG. It's called BIG grant, and to our surprise, we also got it. So while we were working on this grant, we were based out of Kalinga Institute of Industrial Technology, which is in where I got to come to know across these terms called bio incubator, bio entrepreneurship, startup. You people are lucky that there are these workshops which are happening for you, and you're already exposed to these terms, these concepts, and you know that if you want to get into entrepreneurship, there are ways that you can do it. But I was fresh masters. I had absolutely no idea that this sort of a world is available, and there are sources, there are people who would help you out. So at this bio incubator in Kalinga, I was exposed to a lot of these concepts. Now, I always wanted to do something of my own right from the beginning, but then I did not know how. This biotechnology ignition research grant. I got funding. I developed my research skills. We even filed for a patent. But then I thought, okay, no, I want to be my own boss. I want to start something of my own. So post the grant, I started one branding and marketing startup, Relicus Healthcare, wherein it was a simple concept wherein we used to procure generic medicines from a manufacturer. We were used to procure generic medicines from a manufacturer and brand it on our own. So we did this for around 2 years, and so what happened was, if you remember, around 5 years back, there was this one gazette wherein around 360 formulations were banned. Combination formulations were banned, and out of the 8-10 products that we were marketing, 4-5 products lied under this particular banned theme. So we were left with okay, what to do now? Because due to this, one major reason was the banning of these products, the combination products, and also there were other mistakes that we had done. I had to stop my first startup. So I would just like to talk from my personal, very practical experience, what mistakes I did. So first thing was, we did not have a proper founders agreement. So even though I started this company with one of my very close friend, but then we did realize that midway, for both of us, we did not have the same vision and mission. Both of us were not aligned to the vision and mission of the company. So the company definitely fell apart. Then there were certain legal challenges, like we are not taught any legal. we do not study anything legal during our B Farm or M Farm, or for that matter, even during your MBA days, you barely study anything legal. So there were a lot of legal challenges which we did not know. And that time there was this transition from VAT to GST, and a lot of confusion, a lot of chaos in that, how to, whether we'll be or not, a lot of issues. Then a very important issue that we faced, since we were primarily a marketing company, trademark. We do know what is trademark, but then you do not really know what is this. So we faced certain trademark issues after marketing the products for around 1.5-2 years. There were certain trademark litigations raised. We did not know that these trademarks are already registered, even though we had registered, but then certain challenges came into picture. Also, not coming from a supply chain background, we were growing. The products were selling well, but then we were not able to handle the supply chain. Also, there is something called as unit economics. Unit economics is at what particular cost you're going to sell your individual product. So there are multiple costs involved. So we just probably, which we are not taught at our formal education. It comes from experience. There is no particular formula, how you can calculate this particular thing. It just comes from experience. So we were miscalculating the unit economics, and even though it seemed on the books that we are making profit, but we were not. Also, this micromanagement was my personal problem that I had. I wanted to be involved in every single activity that was going on in the company. I wanted to micromanage everything, which is wrong. The reason being, you if you empower people, they can do wonders. So what I was doing was, I wanted to be involved in everything. I was probably not trusting the employees. So that was one major mistake that I did. And the most important, Mayank mentioned that failure to pivot. If you know that a particular product is not working, just get away with it, start something new, which we failed to do at that particular point of time. So from my first failed startup, the learnings that I got was, even though have the right co-founders, it's extremely important, because when you are out there running your own startup, it's a difficult challenge, it's a difficult road. It's There will be a lot of issues, there will be a lot of ups and downs. And at that particular point of time, no one, your parents, your partner, your friends will not understand. Only your co-founder will understand, because they are also going through this, not your friends. But it's very important that the co-founders have the same vision and mission. In my previous startup, wherein when I started, the operation cost was very high. So one thing I learned was, try keeping the operation cost as low as possible. Then only you can maximize your profit. Like I mentioned, micromanagement was my major problem, and I can successfully, very proudly say that I have overcome it, and now I do not micromanage everything. And I have learned that when you give responsibility to your employees, to your partners, they do wonders. And one important thing, I think all of us start for money. But then once you start for money, money will not come immediately. It does not come immediately. At least that's what my learning has been. It does not come immediately. If you start for money, what will happen midway, say 3 years, 4 years, you might just give up. But if you start for a purpose, if you have a purpose for starting, definitely you will not give up till your purpose for starting that company is achieved. This I realized when I started my second startup, Cerelia Nutritech. uh, so with this 2 years failure of my first startup, almost at the similar time, I started my second company, Cerelia Nutritech. We are into innovative products for tackling anemia and malnutrition. Now, how exactly did we come up with this concept? um, I was in, like I mentioned, I was in Bhubaneswar. So we had this 6 month immersion program in rural parts of Odisha, wherein we were trying to figure out what are the challenges in maternal and child healthcare system. So what we realized, we jotted down, we spoke to a lot of stakeholders, doctors, the pregnant women themselves, Anganwadi, healthcare workers, and a lot of other people in the Ministry of Health and regional medical centers. What we realized was, we jotted down some close to 150 odd problems. And what we realized, when we tried to link what would be the root cause of all these problems, it was very shocking that all those 150 odd problems that the women and the children faced were linked to malnutrition or hidden hunger, what we call. So, if you look at the statistics, 1 in 3 person people, they suffer from some or the other form of vitamin deficiency. So, major deficiencies are iron, B12, vitamin D3, folic acid. Coming to a bit of technical part of it, it has the if you go and read those capsules or tablets that are available, they mentioned 120% of RDA, 30% of RDA, 300% of RDA. This extra, why do they give this extra vitamin? Is because it has very low or poor oral absorption, and so bioavailability suffers. Also, specifically for iron, it suffers from gastric irritation. There is bowel discomfort, nausea, and constipation. Now, when it comes to so we try to figure out that so even though the government spends to more than around, I think it is 26,000 crore per year on various nutrition initiatives, but still the problem of malnutrition is not solved. So the government they provide practically free iron and folic acid supplement, but the data suggests showed that barely 35% women were consuming these micronutrient capsules or tablets. The reason was very shocking, especially in the rural parts. Due to patriarchy, women are not allowed to eat before men or the elders of the house, and a lot of places it was happening that the men, the husband, or some other male person did not let the women consume those tablets because they wanted that they should be stronger, not the women. Another reason, which was very sad, considering how obsessed we Indians are with fair skin, the mother-in-law would not let the daughter-in-law take these capsules, iron capsules especially, because they thought that since you when you take iron capsules, a particular form of iron which does not get absorbed properly, the stool color changes to black. So what they thought was, if the woman is taking this capsule, the baby that would be born would also be darker in skin color. So these were all very sad and very shocking realities what we figured out on ground. So we wanted to develop something which the women would love to use rather than being compelled to use. We thought, let's come up with a solution which would not only be very nice and pleasant to use, but also uh, overcome all the technical challenges like the low bioavailability and the nausea, vomiting, what is faced by these supplements. So we have come up with a moisturizer which has encapsulated micronutrients. It's our patent, it's a granted patent technology, Seriderm, which enables simultaneous delivery of hydrophobic as well as hydrophilic vitamins and minerals in flexible vesicles. Now, developing something with a very strong scientific background requires a lot of money. I'm sure all of us think that if you want to become an entrepreneur, if you want to do some innovation, you need money. Now, from where will this money come across? So let me begin by saying, for my first startup, I did put in my own money. For a long time, I was job and running my own startup. I used to barely keep like 2-3 thousand for myself, my travel and all, and every other penny, every single other the penny left, I used to put it in my startup. But then when I started Cerelia, I was very determined that if I want to do something big, I need money. But then I don't want to put in my own money because I started fresh post my M farm, barely with 1 or 2 years of experience. So obviously I did not have a lot of savings. So whatever I was earning, I was putting it in the company. So when I started Cerelia, I was like, now I'm not going to put in my own money. I have to look for sources for funding me. So that is how the first fund that we got was it was a fellowship which my co-founder was undergoing. It's called BIRAC. Now, why I want to tell you about all these various fellowships and the grants that we have got is because generally, as students or any individual who wants to become an entrepreneur, they feel that the first hindrance or the first obstacle for becoming an entrepreneur, and I would say no, funds is not a problem at all if you have the right idea and the right intent. There are many other problems that you will realize when you actually think. So there was this one. This is a very nice fellowship. It's called Social Innovation Immersion Program, wherein you get a particular salary for 18-month period and a 5 lakh grant in aid, through which you can develop your basic prototype. Now, with this grant, with this fellowship and that 5 lakh money, we developed a prototype. We did some animal proof of concept, and we started applying for multiple other grants. And with this, we got. So there was this first grant that we got was Pfizer IIT Delhi Innovation and IP Program. So it's a partnership between Pfizer, the pharma company, and IIT Delhi, wherein Pfizer gives you the money and mentorship, and IIT Delhi gives you space and lab and other mentorship support for carrying out for product development. We also were funded through Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation under Grand Challenges India, then through the Canadian government in Grand Challenges Canada. So we like someone was mentioning that MBA, since we being technical students doing B Farm, M Farm, not MBA, we do not have we do not know how to the legalities of it, the IP part of it. What is a private limited company? When you want to form a company, how to form a company, which would be the best type of company? So for this, through in my journey, startup journey, I came across these two fellowships. An accelerator program. Both of them have changed me. I would call them a mini MBA for me. So one is specifically for women entrepreneurs. It's called V. There's something called as V Foundation, Women Entrepreneurship and I'm sorry, I'm forgetting the full form, but then I can share the links with you all. Empowerment. It is done in collaboration with IIT Delhi. Good news for Bombay people. Now they do it in collaboration with IIT Bombay as well. There was this another one by IC Square Institute, Texas University. So it's a 6-month long program wherein they call you, say around for day every week or for 4 or 5 days a month. They call you. It's a very nice program wherein they teach you all nitty-gritties of business canvas model, the legalities, how GST, what exactly is GST, what are your IP problems that you can face, what type of IP you should file, intellectual property you should file, and multiple other some agreement when you are getting in deal with some partners, or you're getting collaborating with some other company. So it's an amazing program for especially who are more on technical front and have no background of business. These fellowships and accelerator programs are amazing, and I would definitely suggest you all to go through it. So when I look back these 4 years, 4.5 year journey, my journey as an entrepreneur, um, a lot of times I think that I should have just continued with my job. I would be earning in lakhs by now per month. But then when I look back and I realize that what all has been achieved, and what all at what all forums I have got to talk. I represented India at my company represented India. I represented India at Paris top 500 global startups. We represented India in Netherlands, also forums where we have represented India. It's an amazing experience. So this is my team. This is our lab that we have set up through the multiple fundings what we have got. We started with just one product of vitamin B12, iron, and folic acid. But then right now, this is not an updated spec, but then right now I have around 9 different products which we are which we are developing. 3 of them have been successful in animal trial, and they'll be going. They are into human trial. We are also pivoting, and since these products are prescription products and taking a lot of time for regulatory approval, we have started with our cosmetics line of products, and they're doing pretty well in the market. So one thing that I have learned is what we learn in books, in our courses, is not enough to survive. Be it your job or be it entrepreneurship, you need to upgrade your skills. So I had to upgrade my skills through a lot, I would say, through attending those courses, such workshops, entrepreneurship development workshops, those accelerator programs, the fellowship programs that we have. So I could learn about taxes, which no one teaches us, various compliances, marketing. It's a very nice experience, and I would definitely suggest you all to, even though you're planning or not planning to become an entrepreneur, do upgrade your skills. Don't just stick to one particular field. Being an entrepreneur, you have to do everything, right from a janitor's job to a CEO's job. So in the beginning, when you don't have a team, you have a very small team, you have to do everything. So this is my super amazing team. We are lucky to have amazing mentors, some big names who are helping us out for free as of now. In the past 3 years, in 4 years, 5 years since our inception, we have we have got 4 to 5 grants and multiple awards. I think around 16, 17 awards at national and international forum, and the journey is still continuing. I'd love to take any questions if you all have.
Thank you so much, Ruchi, for sharing your experience with us. I think whatever information you gave was like really amazing, and I am sure everyone has got an idea of what are the challenges and difficulties. There are a few questions on the similar lines, but I would like to ask a few. One of it is, how do you face your failures? Like, as you mentioned, after that, what kept you going to start your second startup as well?
Okay, so the first startup, since it was a failure, I was crying for a lot of time, not literally crying, but then thinking what happened, what did I do wrong. So most important thing was I'm also a very analytical person, so I was analyzing what mistakes did we do. Now, since once I analyzed what were the mistakes that I had done, I thought, since with this learning, why not use these learning and do something better now that I have experience from my failures. And what I have learned in life is failure is your biggest teacher, because unless and until you fail, you will not learn, and you learn the hard way, but you definitely learn. Also, the other thing, like I mentioned, I did not start for money. I started for a purpose. So that purpose is something that keeps me going. And even though my product, initially it was marketing, so I could definitely, within a month or two, I could see that physical product in front of me. But then in Cerelia, we are going for a innovative product development. All these are all patented products. It is taking a lot of time for development. But then I have this vision in mind that, okay, I want to develop something which is going to help women to overcome the nutritional deficiencies better. So that is what something keeps me going. Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much. I think all the other questions are again on the similar lines and already been covered. So thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
ma'am.
Thank you.
So we have come to the end of our session, and I request Ms. Mansi Dandekar, Public Health Officer IPMSBSF 2021, to give the vote of thanks.
Thank you so much, Prachi. So this year we have really started with this new initiative of entrepreneurship development, and we are extremely lucky to have Mr. Abhay Arolkar sir with us. He's extremely experienced, and for him to come here and share his thoughts, and we are really honored. We are also very happy to have Miss Ruchi Singh and Mr. Mayank, and their experience will always be valuable to us. I would also like to thank Dr. N. Sivaprasad, the